In part 1 of this series, we introduced you to Mohana Sundari, an auto rickshaw driver in Chennai, the capital city of Tamil Nadu in southern India. Mohana shared these vibrant stories of her childhood, which really comes to an end when she starts to face pressure to get married.
This is where we'll pick up Mohana's story. This is part 2 in a 3-part series. And please note, this episode contains references to domestic violence.
From the UCLA Labor Center, this is Rework. I'm Veena Hampapur.
And I'm Saba Waheed. There was a growing concern that Mohana's independence could lead to her making poor life choices. The solution? Get her married.
They found a groom in the village. They said he was well off, but I had no interest. They kept saying, "We are doing this for your own good. Look at your sister. She's a heart patient. Don't give her more stress." They brainwashed me. At an age when I didn't even have the maturity to understand what marriage meant, my wedding happened like it was just another function. I was just 17.
Mohana moved into her mother-in-law's home in the village. Problems with her husband started right away.
I stayed with him for just a week. My husband began giving me some sleeping pill-like things. I still don't know for what reason. He started to torture me, especially in bed. It felt forced. It felt like something I didn't want. I told my family and they said, "You just have to adjust and go on." That 1 week of married life was completely against my will. Until then, I'd been free. And my mind had been free. Only after marriage did I feel like I was being locked away.
Her mother-in-law was admitted to the hospital for an extended stay. So Mohana's husband sent her to live with her family. He asked them to cook for his mother while she was in the hospital.
Once when we were taking food to the hospital, our vehicle had a flat tire. We had promised to reach by 12:30, but only got there at 1:30. My husband yelled at me and then suddenly slapped me on the cheek. I pushed him away and left. I didn't hit back. Out of anger, I just pushed, like how kids push each other while playing. Soon after, I began having vomiting issues. They said I was pregnant. After that, I was in a kind of dazed state.
Mohana returned to live with her husband, and their relationship only worsened. At the same time, she was suffering through a tough pregnancy that was taking a toll.
My anger had grown at being forced to stay with my husband. And I had a deep resentment because he hit me. We kept fighting. Every time it was some new issue, I'd just leave, feeling dizzy. They even had to treat me for seizures. My body couldn't take the strain at all. So they told me, "It's best if you stay at your mom's place and get rest." My daughter was born full term in the 9th month. My father said to my husband, "Go hold your baby. Ask how your wife is doing." But he came and scolded me, attacked me. I couldn't even stand to see his face. After marriage, they said once the baby is born, things will get better. Then after her birth, they said once the baby starts playing, it'll get better.
After Mohana gave birth to her baby, she recovers with her family. But eventually, she's sent back to her mother-in-law's home to live with her husband.
They left at 5 o'clock. That night we sat inside. I was breastfeeding the baby. He said, "This baby isn't even mine." And something like, "I will kill this baby." He tore the chain and the tali from my neck. In his mind, it became about me being a girl raised in Chennai. With whom had she been? He started doubting the child's identity. He'd keep on repeating, "The face is not like mine, not like mine." He started grabbing the child by the neck. I was terrified and started crying hard. After that, I decided I didn't need him anymore. He left for work at 6 in the morning. I pinched the baby to make her cry. I told my mother-in-law that the child is sick and suffering a lot. I told her I was going to take the baby to the hospital. But instead, I went to Chennai, to my former printing boss's house. I didn't go to my mother's house because they would have just said, "Go back, it's your family, it's your child. You can talk to him, try again." I've been talking for a year. And if he hasn't changed by now, will he ever change? Will he ever understand? That's why I came to Chennai. My boss told me to consult with a high court lawyer named Santa Kumari. She asked me, "Is this your final decision, dear? You are still a young girl." I said, "I don't want this anymore. When he says that he'll kill the child or that it's not even mine, why should I?"
Mohana went alone to the women's police station to file a complaint against her husband. When she wasn't taken seriously, she obtained a court order.
Everything spiraled from that point. People started questioning me. What kind of life do you even want now? They started blaming me, saying things like, "Your life is ruined." But I honestly didn't care about all that.
The picture in my mind of this young Mohana with her baby going alone because there's nobody to support her on this. It just really hits you how brave she was.
Yeah. She so clearly had a no, I don't accept this. And I agree, like when you think about how old she was and the society that she's living in, it is so powerful to see how she had that agency and she had that fight in her.
Though she was no longer living with her husband, Mohana's uncle advised her against filing for divorce. When her daughter was about a year and a half old, Mohana decided to return to Chennai with her daughter and her sister. Her father supported her decision and said he would come too. Mohana went back to work, while her father and sister cared for her daughter at home.
நான் வந்து இந்த வாடகை தாயின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க தெரியுமா, அந்த மாதிரி தான் நானே தவிர அவளை வளர்த்தது, சாப்பாடு ஊட்டி எல்லாமே A to Z அவங்க தான்.
They would say I'm just a renting mother. Because honestly, other than just being there, it was my father and sister who did everything, raising her, feeding her. If you asked me how to properly raise a child, I'd admit I have no idea. Because they are the ones who completely raised her while I went to work. Initially, I took up a job as a watch person. Then I started carrying cement sacks and loading them onto a fish transport vehicle. They only gave me 30 rupees daily. We didn't even have money to buy milk. I used to boil rice and use the leftover water as milk for my daughter. That's how bad things were financially.
Mohana's brother was also working in Chennai as a security guard at the General Hospital. Things got ugly one day when his friends were visiting him at work.
என்ன பண்ணிட்டான், அவன் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுங்களோட எல்லாம் அவனை வந்து டெய்லி பார்க்க வந்து போவாங்க போல இருக்கு. இந்த கூட பின்றவங்க இருப்பாங்க பாத்தீங்களா, அவங்க யாரோ
My brother's friends used to come and go daily as if they were seeing a king. One day, a drunk person clashed with my brother. My brother's friends got defensive and the 5 of them ganged up to beat the drunk guy. My brother said, "Don't hit him. I don't want to ruin my reputation," and pushed them aside. The drunk person fell on a cot, hit his head, and died on the spot. These 5 people were the real reason behind everything. They all pleaded with my brother, "Bro, you take the blame. We'll spend whatever amount is needed to help you." My brother went to the police station and handed himself over. He didn't know that if he went alone, it would become a murder case. He alone went to jail, and his friends did nothing to help.
Her brother's case put a huge financial strain on the family, which was already struggling with debt from multiple weddings and living expenses. They sold some of their land as well as the house Mohana had been living in order to raise money.
Our whole family fought this case for about 3 years. Everyone said the same thing. A person can be taken out of jail only if there's money. I made a decision. I told my husband, "Give me my jewelry and I will grant you a divorce." I signed the papers and no one in my family even knew. It was my own decision, right? Then, in front of my father, mother, everyone, I said, "Let's close my brother's case."
Mohana put the money from her divorce settlement towards helping her brother, and eventually his case was dismissed.
But while that was all happening, life wasn't on hold. Mohana continued to work to support her family, though she had dreams of becoming her own boss.
I worked at an export company where they had this calculation. Within 1 hour, we had to join 60 pieces of t-shirts. No matter what the supervisor says, you have to listen to them. I came there to work and do my part. Why should I listen to whatever they say and constantly change and adapt to whatever they ask? It hit me. Why should we always work for others? What if we could do something on our own?
Mohana eventually began looking for opportunities to work for herself.
I wanted to begin a business, so I got into the beautician field. I bought only the essentials, and whenever someone asked for makeup for weddings or parties, I'd go and do it. But I didn't get much business because everyone would go to the beauty parlor. During that time, I had a friend living in the railway quarters. He had set up a tea stall near beach station. He couldn't manage the shop anymore and offered it to me to run. He asked for an advance, and I agreed to pay daily rent too. And I had to pay a salary of 600 rupees for each worker. I used to go at 4 a.m. and return home only at 11 p.m. Still, we weren't making any money. My own savings were being used again and again. I fell into debt and it kept piling up. What could I do? One day, I went to buy vegetables for sambar and I saw an elderly man with some greens. He was selling such big vadas for just 5 or 6 rupees and it matched perfectly with the greens he was selling. That gave me an idea. I'd buy idlis and vadas for 2 rupees in the morning, then sell them in the evening for 5 rupees. Once I understood that, we saved money on oil, manpower, and purchasing costs. For about 6 months, things went really well. Then the friend who had rented me the stall saw I was making a good profit. He told me his family mocked him, saying, "Oh, you're trusting a doll and giving her a shop?" He said, "Won't you trust me and give the shop back to me?" He said he wanted to marry me, but didn't. That's when I truly understood what his intentions were.
This wasn't the first time that Mohana had experienced issues with men at work.
I worked at the sweet stall at the Saravana Bhavan Hotel, which was so small that only one person could work there at any given time. When senior guys would come by to take sweets, we would end up brushing past one another. One of them made a crude comment. I got very angry and said, "Don't you have a daughter?" I told him to mind his words. I made it clear that if I wanted to bump into someone, I'd do it on my own terms outside the stall. Everywhere I went, there were these unspoken rules, things you have to do, compromises you have to make. If they said, "I'm a man," then that was supposed to be the end of the conversation. I was expected to listen. It started to affect me over time. They make it sound like if you're a man, then whatever mistakes you commit, women are supposed to overlook it. Men are better. We need to show submission and respect. Just look at something simple like a supervisor, right? It's always a man. He says, "How dare you step over me? How dare you undermine me? What are you going to do more than me?" And the more I hear it again and again, all I feel is disgust. That's how this society keeps going. It doesn't come from one individual. It's collective, ingrained in our society. Inside my heart, I have a desire that men and women should be equal. So, I chose to step into business as a woman. Even in business, it's the same story. With men, they can succeed or they can fail. But for women, the standard and bar is so high. If we get into business, they ask, "Why are you doing a man's job?"
Moana handed over the shop in the train station and began working and training in a variety of industries.
When times are tough, whatever job I get, wherever I get it, I'll go for it. Even if I don't know the work, I'll say I know and learn on the go. Seeing everyone around me working, studying, even going abroad, I started wondering how they were doing it. I felt like I should also do something, but I had no one to guide me. My father would be scared of everything, always saying, "You'll face a loss." But my mother, on the other hand, would step in and say, "Let's try it," even if there was a risk of loss. I ended up getting cheated whenever I tried. It's through those experiences that I had to learn and grow on my own.
At this point, Mohan and her daughter face some heartbreaking losses. First, her father passes away.
I made my daughter sit, packed our things in a plastic bag, and went and gave my father a proper goodbye. After that, my sister watched over my daughter while I went to work. Soon after that, my sister also passed away. Their time ended, so I had to adjust and move forward with life. Then it was just my daughter and me. I'd go to work, and she started handling the cooking. Food became something we ate only because we're hungry, not for taste. Whatever is there, we just eat that. Most of the time, it's just idli, or we get batter and make dosa, and don't even think about it being served with a proper vegetable.
It's so heartbreaking. From the beginning of her story up until this point, like it's really been about her dad and her sister, and now both those people are gone.
Yeah.
Her passion for good food was something she referenced multiple times throughout her stories of childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And now the fact that they're just eating because they have to put food in their bodies, it really hit my heart.
We went through a very difficult time financially. In the middle of that, I had to undergo 2 surgeries. Still, I never asked my relatives for help. My daughter, she always adjusted. She never asked for things. Even I used to demand things from my father and mother, but she didn't.
Mohana finds work caring for infants with health issues.
The family said, "You're so good at taking care of our babies. Why don't you stay here? We'll pay you double shift wages." For that job, I had to live away from my daughter. My old printing boss's family let her stay at their house and took care of her. Previously, even if I had to work at night, I'd always come back home. Having to leave my own home, it made me feel so low. It's something I'll never forget. I took care of the babies completely. All I would ask for was just 4 hours of rest. During that break, I'd sleep, wake up, have something to drink, freshen up, and come back. I felt like it was my responsibility to make sure the parents felt completely at ease. I couldn't just hand the babies back to them when I was tired, right? I would carry 2 babies, one in each hand, to the bed. I'd cover them up and keep my hands placed underneath. Then I would try to sleep. But if the babies made the slightest sound or movement, I would immediately wake up and check on them. That was such a hard thing for me. It was through that experience that I truly understood the value of money. I couldn't believe people would spend so much money to have babies through IVF. And then I thought about myself. When I was pregnant with my own child, I was so careless and took everything for granted. It was only then that I realized how much effort my father and sister must have put in to care for my daughter. That period of my life taught me so much. Staying at someone else's house, giving so much care and attention to their children. And yet, I wasn't even taking care of my own child properly. But no matter how hard things get, whether it's emotional pain, financial problems, or anything else, I always think about what I can do next and just keep moving forward. I don't sit and overthink. But being separated from my daughter, it really hurt me deep down.
There's a parallel here with her own childhood. Mohana had to adapt to her mother being away for work, but you can sense her pain at being separated from her own child. And then she uses the money from this job to buy a house for her mom. So there's this overlap here between the generations when it comes to finances and care and being separated.
Mm-hmm. The paradox of raising someone's child at the cost of being able to raise your own children. It's one of the most painful sacrifices that a mother has to make to support that livelihood.
Yeah.
And in her childhood, even though her mother had to be away, Mohana still had her siblings and her father. Now she has to do things all by herself with her own child.
Mohana hadn't given up on having her own business, and she kept trying. But each time, she ended up facing further financial loss.
அவ வந்து ஸ்ப்ரிங் போட்டோட கடைலாம் போடுவா அந்த பெரினா பீச்ல விற்கிறாங்கல்ல. சோ அந்த பிளானை நான் பார்த்தேன். அந்த பிளானை பார்த்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா நாமல ஏன் ஒரு கடை போட கூடாது?
Around 2015, I saw my friend running a small stall near Marina Beach. It inspired me. Why shouldn't I start something like that? I bought one of those push cart shops. We'd set it up wherever there was temple festivals. Later, I opened a small shop using cloth and poles. After that, I tried a fried rice stall, but I started facing health issues. So I left it in the hands of a few boys I trusted. They mismanaged everything and got me into debt. Since the stall was on corporation land, they came and demolished it, and I lost everything I had in it. I felt very frustrated. Why is it that whatever business I try ends up in loss? Everything was gone. Everything. One by one, luck, savings, jewelry, all gone. Only my daughter was there with me. All my businesses collapsed. That's when it hit me. I saw a woman driving an auto at the central station and thought, if she can do it, why can't I?
At this point, Mohana is tired of dealing with debt. She's running into problems finding well-paying jobs because she doesn't have a college degree. What she does have, though, is an active badge to drive an auto.
லேடிஸ் எல்லாம் எங்கம்மா 6 மணிக்கு மேலே ஓட்டுவீங்க, நைட்டும் பகலாம் ஓட்டினா நல்லா 2000 3000 கூட ஓட்டலாமா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, ஆம்பளைங்க தான் நைட்ல தான் ஓட்டுவாங்க, ஏன் பொம்பளைங்க ஓட்ட மாட்டாங்க?
I started asking around and got information from some men who drive autos. They said, but madam, will ladies drive after 6 p.m.? If you drive both day and night, you can easily make 2,000 or even 3,000. That really made me think, why shouldn't I drive an auto? I thought to myself, what? Only men drive at night. Why can't women drive too?
I think so often when we're hearing stories about South Asian families, South Asian women, arranged marriages, there is not as much focus on agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's that trope of domineering brown men controlling passive brown women who need to be rescued, often by an outside force.
Yeah. Everything about her counters like stereotypes you have of South Asia and women.
Throughout her story, we see a diversity of gender dynamics and nuanced power relations. And we can clearly see that Mohana is not waiting around to be saved. She continually reclaims her power and her agency in some really difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
She has the courage to advocate for herself and for her baby, even when this means going against her family's wishes and societal restrictions for a woman trying to leave her husband.
You know, for her, it's clear that there are no boundaries that she's not willing to cross, no limitations that she's not willing to break in order to care for her family, to survive, and then to thrive.
And we also see this quality time and again in her professional journey, in fighting for herself and also other women. This is something that we're really going to focus on in part 3, the final chapter in Mohana's story.
Here's a look ahead.
சம்பந்தப்பட்ட டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் சம்பந்தமாவே நிறைய ஜென்ஸுங்களை வந்து நான் அவாய்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்னாக்கா அவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா, பெண்களோட மனசு எவ்வளவுதான் நம்ம
When it comes to auto transport, I mostly avoid guys. No matter how much we work hard to improve our lives, men try to influence us by creating unnecessary problems. Ladies to ladies, they get to know each other personally. They help when your vehicle needs repair or to take over school rides. They also call because they need directions. They might say, I have to attend a funeral, so can you keep my child at your house for a bit? They provide good personal support like this. I aspire for everyone in this transport sector to see me as a role model. I won't be around after 50 years, but I want it to be said, oh, Mohana has struggled so much and has done so much. Based on this, so many of us have come forward.
மோகனான்னு ஒருத்தங்க இவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்பட்டிருக்காங்கப்பா, இவ்வளவு பண்ணிருக்காங்கப்பா, இதை பேஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம இவ்வளவு பேர் வந்திருக்கிறோம்னு ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு 2 லைன் பேசப்படணும்ன்றது மட்டும்தான் என்னோட ஆசை.
Our sincerest thanks to Mohana Sundari for sharing her story, and a special thank you to ECTE, empowering communities through education, for connecting us with Mohana, conducting her interview in Tamil, and translating it to English.
To learn more about ECTE and to see photos and videos of Mohana and her colleagues, please visit www.ectefoundation.org. And to learn more about women driving auto rickshaws in Chennai, see our show notes for resources.
You're listening to Rework, a production of the UCLA Labor Center. This episode was produced by Meena Hampapur, P.S. Vaishnavi, Vijay Gnanaprasad, and Sabah Wahid. Sound design and editing by Veena Hampapur. Mixing by Aaron Dalton. Mohana was portrayed by Anne Akila. This episode includes music by Elephants with Guns. Host and actor recording at Pink Cloud Studios.
Until next time, rethink, rework.